up, book lovers? It is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today with my top 10 female characters of 2016. So you might have already seen my top 10 male characters of 2016. If not, I will link it somewhere in this video so you can also check that out. But if you've already watched the video, pretty much same deal. I'm just gonna go from 10 to 1 of like my favorite female characters that I had read about this year. Just so you know, these are female characters that I were introduced to in 2016. They're not all 2016 releases. Keep that in mind as I'm going through the list, because some of you might be like, oh, but that book didn't come out in 2016. Yeah, I know it didn't, but you know, I read it in 2016, so technically it's part of my list. Without further ado, let's get started with the list. Spot number 10 on my list goes to Ruby from The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. A lot of people say that Ruby isn't their favorite character in the series. She's personally my favorite character. I really enjoyed reading from her perspective. I know that a lot of the times she's going through PTSD and like a lot of trauma from her past, but she honestly rises up so much and she does the best that she can to her ability, and that's what I really enjoy about her so much. And I love that she's not like the strongest female protagonist out there, but she kicks butt and she actually does very well, and she's trying to learn how to control her powers because she has these very weird mind powers. But honestly, I don't think that she even gets enough credit for what she does in this book series. She does so much to push the plot forward and to do everything she can to fight against the corrupt rulers in this book. She deserves a spot on my list. Next up, we have Hannah from Gemini. Hannah is just straight out BA, but then again, she's also freaking relatable, and that's why I enjoyed reading from her perspective so much. I mean, she has all these little diary drawing thingies that I think Marie Lu illustrated. I really loved those journal entries because we just got a deeper and closer look at her as a person, and she was just so personable as well as being so badass. And a lot of people didn't really like her at first, but for me, like, I instantly loved her. And a lot of people don't agree. A lot of people liked Katie better. I personally liked Hannah better. That's just my personal opinion. I just love Gemini better, like, full stop. Next female character on my list, I have Juliet from Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. Juliet is the definition of character development. You first follow her when she's very sheltered and she's very unaware of what is happening around in the world. You see her very clingy to Adam because she hasn't really seen any other guy like in her life in like a very long time, and so, you know, that's how it starts off. But then you see her become the strong persona and the strong female character that she is, and it's honestly so amazing to see the transformation that she can go from one to being the other. I didn't really like this first book too much, like it was just an average 3-star read for me, but as the series progressed, you could see that Juliet's journey progressed, and that's what I honestly loved about this book series so much. That's why I have to pick Juliet. She is honestly such a great character. The next female character spot I have on my list has to go to Feyre from A Court of Mist and Fury. Just like Rhysand, Feyre really did surprise me in this book. Her character development and her badassery shined, and it's so funny to think that that was all held back by Tamlin in the first book. I mean, I never even realized that until I read this book. I'm like, wow, okay, she could have actually been so much more in the first book. She could have actually been so much more to the readers, and she could have just done so much more if Tamlin wasn't holding her back all the time. I mean, for sure, like, he needed to break the curse and everything like that, but like, you know, she could have just been so much more in ACOTAR, and that's what I really like about Akamath, because you actually get to see the side of her without him, and yeah, I liked that a lot. The next spot has to go to Rose Hathaway from the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. Rose kicks butt. And not just any butt, Strigoi butt. Evil vampire butt. So many butts. It's so funny to think that a lot of people don't really like Rose Hathaway, and I absolutely really enjoyed reading from her perspective, and I also loved Lissa. A lot of people didn't really like Lissa either. I know that Lissa isn't as badass as Rose, but I just love them both, and I especially love Rose because even though she is so badass, she goes through her tough times too, and it was just so crazy to see in this book series, and I honestly was just rooting for her the whole time. I was just cheering her on, and I'm so happy that, you know, we finally come to the 6th book and everything was resolved, and I was just so happy for her. You can tell I'm sweating really bad, guys. It is like 35 degrees here, and that's Celsius. Number 5 on my list has to go to Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel is absolutely nowhere near by a female protagonist. She is actually an alcoholic, and she takes the mantle on of Captain Marvel, and she just becomes this amazing badass. She is a fearless leader that fights for people. I loved how badass she was in the comics that I read last year. I continued on reading this year, and I just fell in love with Carol Danvers' story and her as a character, and I'm so excited to keep on reading about her, and I'm so excited to see her in the MCU finally, and I hope that they do her story justice. I know that they're going to manipulate her backstory in some sort of way, but I hope that they do her character justice. For a female character I have on this list will be Emma Carstairs from Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Emma Carstairs is pretty much the female version of G-Swizzel, yet I kind of liked her better, like a lot better. Like, I absolutely love Emma Carstairs. And I don't even know if it's just the age connection. I mean, I was born in 1995 and she was born in 1995 and she was 18 in 2013. I was 18 in 2013, and you know, she's kicking butt in 2013 in this Shadowhunter world. I mean, it's a great time. But I really enjoyed reading from her perspective and just seeing how badass she is. I mean, I know she grew up without her parents, but to see that she would do anything to fight for them, I mean, it's honestly so great. And her and Julian, I just love them so much. I mean, I know they're power of a tie and it's kind of forbidden love, but I ship them so much, guys. Spot number 3 and 2, I don't know which one goes first, but they're from the same book series. I originally decided that I could only pick one from each book or book series in this list, but I kind of cheated with this one because I just love both these characters almost equally. Like, it's just very weird. I decided to give them number 3 and number 2 on this list, Inej and Nina from Six of Crows. It's so crazy because I relate to both of them so much. I mean, Inej is a person of color and Nina kind of struggles with her body weight, and I'm kind of both of those guys. Not only that, their female friendship completed me in a way because they're both so similar to me, and I saw myself in both of them, guys, and I honestly do not know which one I love better because I just love both of them. I cannot separate my heart from either of them. You cannot make me choose which one goes first. I do not like one more than the other. I just love them both, guys. And now we've come to spot number 1, which will take the Female Character of the Year award. I could have chosen all the female characters from this book to be on my list, but unfortunately I could only pick one, and one really did stand out to me, and I think that she is on a lot of people's lists if they decided to make this list. So I'm gonna bring the book up and I'm just gonna give you some time to guess which female character it is. You done? The winner of the award goes to Manon Blackbeak. Oh, Manon, you are my queen. I could just call her Queen Manon for days, and she could just call me peasant, and I would love that. She could punch me in the face, and I would say thank you. All Aelin, Lysandra, and Elide were honestly so great, but Manon really did stand out to me as a character, and she finally did something right this year, and I was so happy for her, but at the same time, like, I don't know what's gonna go down next. Like, I'm actually really scared for these characters. There's only one book left in this series, guys. This is actually really sad, but I'm really excited to see her side of the story in the next book and everybody else's side of the story. Like, oh, I just love it so much. But yeah, Manon wins this year for me. That is gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. Follow me on my social medias. I'm at G-Swizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I am also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.